How are you guys doing?
Well, that's a complicated question. What do you want to hear? I mean, like, obviously there are like 4 people in the world who can answer the question what comes next. It's 3 of us and Jesus, so...
Yeah, maybe let's ask the... No, I mean, we already had Kyiv Independent on stage, not you, but Olga. Daniel was there before, so quickly, maybe Marichka, you can just give us 3 examples of stories the Ukrainians has done.
Okay, you asked me to do it quickly, so I try. Our main focus from the very beginning was the human stories. So we have been interested the most about personal, about people's experience and people's life. And after the big war began, it has became more important. So I would like to tell you 3 short stories. This woman, it's the conductors from Kyiv train, and it was one of these trains that transported people, more than 3 million people close to border. And this story is about the team who worked and literally lived in a train for more than 45 days. And actually this is a story about how ordinary people in the previous life became a new hero. And the next story is also about that. This man is Kostya. He is like a fisherman, and to be honest, he also is a poacher. But when the war began, he gave his own boats to another fisherman, and they take people across the Kyiv Sea, because one of the shooter was occupied by Russians and another one was no. And this story is also about like simple people, ordinary people is a hero. And this is my favorite story now. This man is, I forgot his name, he's Dave, and he's British, but he has lived in Ukraine more than 16 years. And when they began start, he was want to fight, but he can't. So he helps our country in another way, and he research social media and look for some people who have relatives near the front line and who lose it, and he goes here and takes these people up of the front line. And what I want to say with these examples, that the terrible war also show us that how great people can be, and this our story we told about that.
Okay, great. And before we will go into your next stories, Daryna, Kyiv Independent, 1-year-old, what? And just recently, you've had, of course, quite a ride.
Yeah.
What are your next plans? I mean, how do you even approach planning? Do you think like in weeks, months? How do you do this?
No, I'm a big believer in strategies. I don't think that, you know, just it can be a wild run for a while, but at the end of it, you have to know where you are going. And for us, it's been challenging in a lot of senses, because, you know, as we are trying to, as many other media, to adjust to the new reality, we were also trying to build a company from scratch, which is, you know, a lot of kind of tasks from very operational, administrative to like the strategic ones, like what do we want to be in 10 years, and do we have 10 years, and
So what do you want to be in 10 years?
I mean, I think our main achievement is the fact that we know that we will be there in 10 years. So now we can plan ahead. We also realize that we have the support and we kind of have the niche that is very much needed. So I think the big thing for us is to expand our coverage, not just cover Ukraine, but also cover the region. And that is a bigger mission of trying to change the lens, because for decades, Western media has been investing in Moscow bureaus and reporting on Ukraine and other countries in the region. Like there is Russia, but there is these other countries that used to be Russia, probably will be Russia again, but not really knowing the context, the history, anything. So we want to change that lens, and we want to make it, centric around other countries in the region. And now it's probably will be Kyiv lens, because that, Kyiv is now fighting the war, Ukraine is fighting the war, and it's a proxy war. We all understand that. So it's Ukraine fighting for the world and for the world's values against Russia and against Russia's evil values. So I think that's kind of the big mission, to expand the coverage. The other one is to, the war fatigue is settling in, so whatever we are doing, all of us, has to get way more creative to be able to grab attention of the audiences. And for us, it's even a bigger challenge, because for Ukrainian audiences, for them, it's a matter of life and death, whether they read news or not. And for the Western audiences, they just get tired of these horrible pictures coming from Ukraine, of the torn limbs, dead children and stuff, and they just want to drink their Aperol in peace somewhere in Vienna. And that's understandable. So we have to get a lot more creative and to grab their attention, to get into the competition strongly against Netflix, against TikTok, against YouTube. And we have to get on different platforms, come up with new products that will be, as terrible as it sounds, it has to get entertaining.
Yeah, but let's stop here for a second on the fatigue part. How do you deal with it? Like just being tired in these extreme conditions?
I don't think we are tired. I mean, we don't get tired of this. I mean, it's a survival mode we have. We know, for us it's either, for us as Ukrainians, meaning it's either winning the war or probably there is no after that. And so, we will run as long as it needed, against the fatigue and against all odds, essentially. But for our audiences, it's different. So the challenge is to support us and our teams, but at the same time to be able to counter the war fatigue that's settling in with the Western audiences.
Okay. So when it comes to supporting teams, Daniel, you have this more landscape view of media. You try to support different media and CEE. What plans do you have for next year? Yeah.
Thank you, Jakub, for this question.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Yes, it's a very easy one. So, as I said yesterday, I've joined Google News Lab only 3 months ago, and that's one of the challenges, to actually figure out how to best support media in CEE, because as we all know, CEE is this small, not diverse region at all, with like 1 or 2 different languages, and all the media need the same thing. So it's actually a huge challenge, but I'm very happy that Google actually started doing a bit more. It's been doing things, but now it's going to happen even more. So we started with supporting events like this one to bring people together and actually share views, share opinions, and learn what people actually need, and we'll go from there. And where we come at, that's we don't have those limits here, right?
Yeah. Okay. And do you want to focus on certain countries, or how will it work?
Like Ukraine.
Yeah.
Poland.
I mean, obviously, yes. I personally want to focus on some countries need help more than others. Obviously, Ukraine is an obvious one, but also next year we have very important election in Poland. In January, there's Czechia, Baltic states, who are more vulnerable to disinformation than many other countries as well. We have some countries that are very low in the world press freedom rankings, right? Or they're declining. So there's, each country have their own challenges. But obviously for us as News Lab, fighting disinformation, supporting digital transformation and making the whole ecosystem sustainable, because this is the big ultimate goal that we want to do. And then also increasing diversity and inclusion in the media. Those are the three key things that we want to do and push for.
If you would say about Daryna, about the three main, what are your three top needs right now as Kyiv Independent? Maybe more,
So the challenges change very fast in this war. Now I think the main one is to survive the winter being a functional company. We are now planning a relocation/rotation program when we kind of can rotate staff in and out to make sure that if a new blackout happens, that we have staff that has stable access to the
and that will be, okay, so.
Electricity and internet. Yeah, we're picking the locations, so, I don't want to get into the details for safety reasons, but I think we're looking at two hubs in Poland and in Western Ukraine, but that's one thing. We've been trying to get our office as sustainable against the blackouts as possible, trying to buy equipment. It's all very not easy. For now, I think we got to the point where we can survive a 2-day blackout in the office, but then if it gets worse, then yeah. It's not gonna last us. So that's why the relocation program. I think we would really appreciate some operational support on the ground, like in Poland, for example, helping us to find the properties we can rent and stuff like that. And that's one thing. The other thing is that about supporting your team actually. So. We don't get tired, but we do get tired, and it's been a wild run for us even before the full-on invasion started. So I think we probably had one person or two people who've been on vacation since we launched the Kyiv Independent, and that's gonna have to change because people get really tired. Also, at the beginning, a lot of the teammates were kind of running on the adrenaline and not thinking about the rest and stuff like that, but we now see, and also not processing, right? So there's trauma happening to us all the time, whether you are sitting in the office in Kyiv or whether you're traveling to the front lines, different kind of trauma, but still. And it's been adding on all the time, and now we have to help the teammates deal with it. So we are now looking into a mental support program across the team to probably give individual therapy sessions to the teammates. We will fundraise for that after we wrap up the winter prep, and that's a big one for me. I think we should be able to do that, but the biggest bottleneck for us is actually staffing up because there are a lot of growth that is happening, and there are a lot of things that we want to do, but also need to do to make sure that we're successful in our mission to be the bridge between the world and Ukraine. And it's really tough for us finding the right people. So just a little announcement: if you speak English, you're fluent, or you're a native speaker, Ukraine and the region, you're a professional journalist or editor, knock on our door.
Marichka, and what about you and the needs of your organization?
Actually, I planning to answer something another way. But okay, we have a lot of challenge, of course. But now I want to say that our a big plan. It's just simple, just continue our work. Because during the war, we can published a printing magazine. You can show it, please. Yes, it was with this famous picture by Dmytro Kozatsky from Azovstal, and it was miracle, I don't know. At first, it seems like impossible mission to do it, but we did it. And also, we published a book, 77 Days of February. You can show it also. Thank you. And Sergei Zhadan wrote to us forward. And it also, it's like, wow, we did it. And meanwhile, we are waiting for our fourth issue of magazine, and it's also seemed like, how can we do it? Also, especially because of blackouts now, because we are waiting from printing and don't know if it would possible. But we inspiring of our work now and want to do it more and continue. And you can show last slide, please.
Oh, this one.
Thank
Okay.
We actually also published a book.
Ah.
We have a book. This is an anthology of our work in French, and the
French.
Yeah,
Ah.
and the another one, updated version, is coming out hopefully soon in English.
Who would have thought that war will generate so many, printed books? But
I know, right?
It's
No,
fascinating.
we don't have publishers as partners. So
Okay.
we don't do it on our own.
Anyone else is into book publishing besides, I guess, Tygodnik Powszechny? But
Because you can also partner with the Kyiv Independent, and we have
yeah,
a lot of
exactly. I wanted to
ideas.
talk about the ideas of partnerships. Like, what kind of partnerships would be beneficial for you?
I mean, we are very much into partnerships. We feel like that is one of the biggest trends we've found on this journey of setting up a new company in the midst of war. And we partner with a lot of companies. Like, with some companies, we partner for mentorship. Like, we realized that, okay, we are new in the game in a lot of senses. So we've partnered with those, for example, Aftenposten to mentor us on some things. Then we've partnered with The Guardian to help us kind of develop the ideas for membership and stuff. And, so we do a lot of that. We also partner with a few of tech companies that give us either pro bono services or help us, implement some technological solutions. For example, we have great partners at Beyond Words. Now we have the voiceovers of all the stories that are on the website, and it's a great solution because some stories are very a heavy read. For example, we published an investigation last night, and it's up to 7,000 words, and we have an audio that goes with it that you can just listen on to, while you are taking a ride or something like that. So they're very beneficial for us, and I think we also are very much into all kinds of commercial partnerships. We do syndicate our content. So it's important, and I think it's the first time in my career in like the last 13 years when I see how partnerships can help you grow so much faster. So I'm a big believer in that, and if you have ideas for partnerships for us, do approach me.
That's an idea for you, Daniel.
What, going into books?
We'll come up with something, don't you worry.
Yeah, you have the never mind. And Marichka, what about you? Like, what kind of partnerships would you seek?
What are you doing, Jakub? I don't know. Really, we also are opening for different kind of partnership, and also in this hall there is my colleague Katya, our partnership manager. Yes.
Raise your hand. Oh, I don't see it anyhow. Oh, there, in the back. Okay.
If someone want to do some cooperation, we can discuss and come up with something.
Okay, guys, thank you for fighting with these impossible questions of where do we go from now. I knew that I set you up for it's like for Władysław, that's an important Polish book, but yes, I wanted to thank you for joining us here on stage. Thank you very much. And we actually, so that was the last session, actually.
That was fast.
That was fast. That was like, I know. That was fast. I know. I can't believe it's over. It's like always with events, you do it for 2.5 months and then suddenly it's 16 hours and it's over. But since Marichka is here on stage, we wanted actually to drop a little thing which I shared yesterday on the Telegram group, and we actually shared it last week, is that the Ukrainians has an office in Kyiv, and they were kind enough to agree to share it with whoever needs internet during blackouts. So, because there is right now power banks, and there is a Starlink unit, and it's called Mixer because we partnered with them to give you the possibility to go there. So if you are in Kyiv, whoever, from whatever media organization, if you bring a lot of cookies for the Ukrainian teams, they will let you use it. So there's already like almost, I don't know, 30 or 40 people who gave us a little interest. So that just, you know, to keep you going. So in this crazy times. So yeah, and that's what we basically little thing which we wanted to announce. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.